each and every Saturday out at Sunset Park. So if you get a chance, come out and see those little boys and girls. And also, Pine Forest Playground Equipment has, I got a call and it's scheduled to be delivered this week. There is a little delay with the installation company due to the weather. They're backed up on a couple other jobs. So I'm hoping within the next couple of weeks we'll have the playground in and completely installed at Pine Forest Park Sports Center. We hosted a hot dog luncheon for our senior citizen members at the Sports Center a few weeks ago, which was very well received. We're already getting asked about when we're going to have the next hot dog lunch. And not along those lines, our Biggest Loser contest is finally finished up. We had 32 members that finished the whole program and lost a total of 950% body fat. So those folks that enrolled and did that Biggest Loser did a great job. And I also want to mention our Easter egg hunt was again a very big success. We had over 250 kids at the Sports Center. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Mr. Brennan, I had a chance to go to the Miracle League baseball game on Saturday. It was absolutely beautiful weather. You guys could come out there. It was just amazing. I was telling someone I had a chance to go to a rather inspiring rally the night before and looked out across 10,000 people protesting whatever, and agree or disagree, but it was inspiring. I pulled up to the Miracle League field on Saturday, and there was nothing more inspiring than that. Nothing. That's absolute will and determination what that'll get you in life. So that's a beautiful thing. Any audience member on Saturdays, you guys should take a chance to go out there and see that field and see those guys play the great American game of baseball.
And if I may, Mr. Raines and the Miracle League Board, they really do a great job, and they really should be commended for their hard work running that program.
They do an excellent job. The Pine Forest Park, the stuff's going to be there next week, and the installation crew is about a week behind. How is the equipment going to be secured?
I've already secured it on secure down at Union Street. Very
good. Do we have any other questions for Mr. Brown? Yes, Mr.
Mr. Brown, would you mind addressing the event list that we have in our packets?
We had talked about with there not being a Mauldin Fest this year, doing the many festivals, many events throughout the city, and I was asked to compile a list of those type things for everyone to have to possibly go out in the Gazette. So that's what you have is a draft list of those events that we'll be having upcoming. And as soon as we get some firm dates and some definite details on those, we'll be forthcoming with all those for you and for all our community.
Mr. Brennan, this is a commendable list. Almost every month we've got something sponsored by the city for our citizens. Outstanding work.
Mr. Hunter, thank you for pointing that out. That's exactly right. That was what City Council requested, to make sure we have lots of things going on so that there's plenty of stuff to do within the city. And that's a goal of council and should be a goal of the community. Do we have any other questions for Mr. Brown? Very good. Thank you, Mr. Brown. Mr. Mayor, that's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Reynolds, Planning and Economic Development, Chairman Hunter.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Dominguez, would you come forward and give your report, please?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In your, I apologize again for not getting the report into your agenda packet. I was running a little bit late and did not get it into your mailbox until Friday afternoon. I did distribute the cover letter by email, so you should have gotten that. If you look at the figures for permit activity for the month of March, we did issue 41 permits with a total permit value of $1.2 million. Not quite along the lines of the prior month when we issued most of the permits for NHC, but that 1.2 was largely subcontractors for NHC. If you look also at the list for October and November, those two large dollar amounts were related to the construction of the Samsung project. Permit activity on the residential side, we're starting to see some activity. We've issued a few residential permits where residential activity had been non-existent, so we're starting to see some signs of life there. Commercial activity continues to plug along at a steady pace. The deadline for the business license renewals was Wednesday of last week. From April 1st until Friday afternoon, we had collected $748,000. As of this morning, the total for the fiscal year was $1.3 million, and we still have a sizable stack to be processed and posted to the ledger. So the revenue's been coming in pretty steadily so far.
Mr. Levigas, on your weekend activities, where you have one of your inspectors working on the weekend, are we gathering any information during those periods of time?
The inspectors are driving around looking for any kind of contractors working at job sites, and what they have found so far, with what little activity they've actually found, the contractors have been landscaping contractors for the most part who already have business licenses with the city. We have run across a few building contractors who are working, and as it turned out, they all had the appropriate licenses and permits for the work they were doing. So we haven't seen a number of people doing construction without without proper permits and licenses. Although I think that's probably a function of the economy right now. If the economy picks up, I would expect to start catching a few more along the way.
Thank you. Any questions of Mr. Levigas? Mr. Bryant?
Thank you, Mr. Mr. Demetrius, I know you get tired of hearing me ask this same question. What's the status on the corner property at 385 East Butler Road?
Stuart met with the owner. He has a contractor lined up to remove the building debris. There was also a contractor who had talked with the fire department, I believe earlier today, about getting a burning permit to clear the brush and debris that are on the property. And so they are working on clearing the rest of the property.
What time frame are you looking at? Can you answer that?
I'm not sure what time frame the contractor is looking at. The inspector is working with the property owner trying to get a compliance date. We should be able to have it firmed up. Should be able to report back in a week or so about a firm date.
I'd like to see you and your department do everything you can to expedite this, because it's been going on too long, the way I look at it.
Minimally, you could have a report at committee meetings first May. Regardless of what the report is, you can have a report.
Thank you, Mr. Black. Mr. Williams?
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. Mr. Nemekis, last year there were several instances of business license renewals that were having trouble having all the proper documentation. Are you having that issue this year?
We've had a number of people try to renew their licenses without documentation. We've turned them all away, told them that they were required to provide that documentation. The vast majority have come back with the proper documentation. Anyone who submits after April 15th now is subject to a 5% penalty between April 15th and May 15th. So if they did not get it in before April 15th, they're going to get hit with that. We are working with one particular large corporation that is trying to get all their documentation together regarding two different business activities. We are working with the city attorney and their attorneys and accountants, trying to get that squared away. They are aware that they're under a 5% penalty at the present time.
How far as a percentage are we off on those revenues from the budget? That had to be fairly close.
The budgeted amount, I believe, is $1.8 million, and I think as of this morning was $1.3 million, excuse me, versus 1.8. So we still have a number of applications to process that we've received during the past week, and once we get those processed and posted, we're probably looking at probably being only about 300 or so thousand shy. And of course, the other businesses that we're talking with will probably get us pretty close to the projection.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Nemekis. That's all I have, Mr. Hunter.
Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Levigas. That's all we have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. Public Works, Chairman Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Chair.